Alright guys, I was asked to discuss Kratom since I am a substance abuse nurse. Someone asked me what is my opinion of Kratom. May or may not be pronouncing it right. It goes by other names, K2, Spice, or some other ones. But Kratom is what I was asked to talk about. What is Kratom? Let's start with that. Kratom is a substance that is legally sold here in the United States, not in all states, but it is legally sold here in the United States. It's not exactly legal, it's sort of in this gray area, but it is still sold. What it is it comes from a plant based in the coffee family, the coffee-based family, and taken in certain doses, it gives a sedative effect, and then taken in other doses, it gives a stimulant effect. So in smaller doses, it's more like a stimulant. In much higher doses, it's more like an opiate or a depressant. And many people use this to sort of help with withdrawals and things like that. And so that's sort of what it is. Now, given that little brief history, let me tell you why it's sort of in a gray area, and then I'll give you my opinion on it. Kratom is not exactly legal. It's not FDA approved, it's not DEA approved, it's not approved by, at this moment in time, any government agency that I know of. And that is because it's not really sort of been tested, it's not really sort of gone through all of the things in order to get approved. And therefore you can buy quantities that may or may not equal what it is being sold. So for instance, if you buy a bottle of Tylenol right this second, acetaminophen, you buy a bottle of Tylenol right now, it comes with a big warning label on the back, and it'll say something like, do not drink more than 2 drinks a day while taking this medication, look out for these certain side effects, look out for these allergic reactions, things like that. Kratom just sort of comes in its own little bottle or packaging and doesn't really have any of these sort of warning labels. Now, I think, in my opinion, it is a bad idea. Kratom is a terrible idea simply because there's just not enough known about what it does or does not interact with. Now, take for example myself. I drink a pot of coffee a day. I do. Unhealthy as it may be, I drink a pot of coffee a day. Let's just say someone drinks an entire pot of coffee and then ingests a large amount of Kratom. Again, we're going to run into sort of stimulants and depressants all at the same time. What if that has toxic effects on me? We really don't know this at this moment in time because it's not got the FDA approval. Because I'm in substance abuse, many times I do give medications that do have these labels on them, such as methadone or Suboxone or buprenorphine or Subutex. Phenobarbital is not really one of them, but it has been in the past. These medications, Vivitrol. These medications that I give have been tested and are still being tested, and we know you do not mix Benadryl with them. We know you do not mix alcohol with them. We know that there are certain things you do not do, or it can have toxic effects. With Kratom, we don't know that. We just don't know, can I drink a pot of coffee and take a messload of Kratom at the same time and not have withdrawal and not get myself into trouble? It's not the best idea. It's just something that hasn't really been tested. And I know, someone out there is going to say, hey, listen, I do Kratom all the time. It's been safe for me. It's safe for, everybody, and I'll, live and die by Kratom. And that may be true, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe. And it's not necessarily safe for everyone. And everyone doesn't exactly know what to look for. Does it work? I have heard that it does help with withdrawals. Does that mean you should take it? In my opinion, no. Unless you have a provider, an actual doctor telling you, a medical doctor telling you Kratom is safe, or a pharmacist telling you this Kratom is safe, I just don't think that it should be taken in order to really do anything. You may present the argument, well, what about THC gummies or Delta 8 gummies or whatever the marijuana-laced gummies that you may be taking? What about those? Again, I personally don't feel that they're safe. Some people take them for pain. Some people say it helps them feel better. If you take them, please don't operate heavy machinery, is all I can say. There's so many unknowns about these medications. Now, I will say I do like the fact that it's coming from a store rather than someone on the street, because you don't know what you're getting on the street, whereas on the store you should be getting what's on the label, but again, you don't know that what you're getting on the label is what you should be taking. And some people will say, well, Chris, it's all natural. Methadone is synthetic. Suboxone is synthetic. They're man-made. They're not all natural like Kratom is. Kratom is all natural. Okay, I'll let you get away with, yes, it's all natural. So is the mud that I'm standing on, but I'm not going to put that in my system in order to get through withdrawals. I'm just not going to do it. You know, it's just because something is all natural does not necessarily mean it is the way to go, does not necessarily mean it's the way you should go. Kratom is, I've seen it for the last probably 5 or 6 years. I do remember it 10 years ago sort of coming on the scene, but for the last 5 or 6, probably 3 years really is when I really started to see it. My opinion, it's not good. You just don't know what it is until it becomes fully legalized and it has a DEA, FDA approval. I'm going to stay away from it simply because of all of the interactions that you just don't know could happen. It's just not something I encourage to take. It's not something I encourage anyone to take. And some people are going to say, hey, I take it. It makes me feel better. It gets me through the day. And that's you. You're not everybody. And I disagree with it. And I don't think that people should be taking it. Of course, I am a substance abuse nurse, so I'm looking at this a little different than most. Hope it helps. Thank you much.